Hey y'all, it's Sharla from the Hartzell Homestead, here with you on the Creative Retreat Kids YouTube channel. I'm going to be working today in my Vintage Reflections junk journal that I started a few months ago, and I want to just make a creative space for me to record my thoughts and reflections on the higher way study that we've had for this month. I'm so glad that you're here with me. Let's get started. Okay, I'm doing y'all a favor here by speeding up this process video today. This ends up resembling more like a highlight reel, so to speak. The techniques aren't really that challenging. I just felt like my creative process was a little slower today. I think I've just been on multitask overdrive and my mind was tired, and I just needed to stop everything today for a little while and just have some quiet creative time in the Word. So in real time, I spent a little more than an hour on this, but it really probably shouldn't have taken me that long. For my double page, or my two double page layouts for this junk journal for this month, I wanted to bring in that beautiful wine color that's on the back of our devotional folder. And so I just used some leftover chalk paint that I found in my stash from a previous project. Now, while those pages were drying, I began prepping my reflection cards from the Faithfilled digitals. I'm using the back of one of the cards for every one of the questions. And then I'll go back once the paint is dry on both of those. It was kind of 4 pages, needed to dry a little bit. I just picked up my white paint pen and I wanted to recreate that little spotty dot pattern that was on the back of our folder. And all I'm doing here really is creating a simple background for the copy of my devotional content to go into onto this page. And I did the same thing that I did last month. If you've been keeping up with these entries, I used some of the kind of vintage paper, like a parchment paper that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, just a little pack of several colors or shades that have an old look to it, and I'm just using one of the little tan looks, and it goes really well with the colors in this kit as well. Now I'm just simply using a thin coat of some Mod Podge on the back of each one of these little pieces to secure the devotional down to the pages. Here is where I started to feel like I just couldn't make a decision very quickly. I wanted to put my little devotional title up at the top on this right hand side, and I just couldn't make it work. I first was a little rectangle. It's like so many rectangles on the page. So then I cut it out around all the little artwork, and then it was just such a funny shape. I couldn't get everything else to kind of cluster with it. So I fiddled around with several pieces from the kit cardstock stickers. I even pulled some colors that were then a little dark against my background. So I just simply put them over on a white piece of scrap paper that I had and cut them out again. So that gave it a little bit of a backer and kind of pulled it off of that dark background a little bit. Then I finally just fiddled with it so many times that I couldn't look at it with fresh eyes anymore. So I just had to leave it alone for a little bit. And I'm going to come back to it and just add a little bit more to it kind of at the end. But I just had run out of some creative thoughts on it, and I wanted to move on. Now, when I first approached my reflection card pages, they were a little too crowded with the reflection cards in the full size that they come on the Faithfilled digitals. So what I did was just take them off screen and to my paper cutter, and I cut each one of them so that they were just slightly at a different size. And now I'm just kind of placing them around, getting the colors to work together. And then I rounded the corners also, just so that it gives them a little more finished look. My goal here is just to arrange them on these pages so that I can have a little washi hinge on each one of them. This is where I'm just going to put in a little brightness of gold to the page. I felt like all of these kind of subdued colors were falling flat. Does that make sense? The page was really dark. I loved that color, but then as I started putting all my elements down, they were flat. And so I wanted to bring a little touch of gold and highlight with this washi, and that's where I'm putting in the hinges. And then I'm going to go and pull a stamp because I felt like my background was really busy on the former 2 pages because of the little spotty dot, but I didn't want to repeat the same thing. So I pulled that really cute little star, kind of like a little asterisk from the stamp kit, and started just popping it down with a little bit of white pigment ink. And then I thought, these are the cutest little things, and they look just like little snowflakes. So I ended up making an entire pattern over the whole 2 pages and had fun with all these little snowflakes. And I thought it was so cute. But again, I felt like once it all dried, it kind of fell flat. So I'm going to finish this out and let it dry and then I'm going to come back to it and start doing a little highlighting with the white paint pen that I used on the previous pages. You'll see me even quickly bring in some of those cute little enamel pieces that you can get from the Creative Retreat Kits shop. I was so determined to use these somewhere, but they just felt like they were too big and heavy for the size of this little stamped snowflake. And so here you see me going in now with that pen. I'm going to do some little highlighting, and then I just started adding all sorts of little dots around it, kind of expanding that snowflake look. I have really enjoyed Jesse's devotional for this kit this month, and it's really kind of a funny thing. This past Sunday, our pastor used a very similar line of thought relating to where we place our faith. We board an airplane with faith in the pilot, or maybe it's a train or a subway or a taxi or any of those things, but we are putting our faith in a particular person because we also have faith in their education or their experience. So how much more certain can we be about placing our faith in our perfect, all-knowing, all-seeing, sovereign God? He has a much greater vantage point than any of the aforementioned travel partners, and we can truly find peace putting our faith in our journey through life with God. These reflection questions are very thought-provoking this month and can easily lead you into deeper study. One in particular asks us to list attributes of God, which can certainly offer several other word studies in itself, like sovereign, authority, redemptive, etc. Here you see me going back to that page I told you I was going to leave alone for a little bit, and I liked that gold washi on top of that wine painted background that I did on the other pages. So I just came over here, gave my printed devotional a little bit of a border, and then brought the washi from a previous kit, and it had gold on it from last month's kit, and so I just wanted to add a little bit of a highlight there and finish off this page with some of those little glistens of gold. Now remember how I told you that I have to leave a page sometimes and let it be for a little bit and then come back with fresh eyes? You're fixing to see that I did that with my journaling card pages. I felt when I came back to it, I thought I was finished and it was like flat again. All of the white just kind of wanted to fade away down into the wine background. So I simply just pulled out one of my dies in my stash, ran it through my die cutting machine real quick, and pulled those snowflakes, so that kind of theme of the snowflake in the background, on top with another element, another texture, and it gave it a little more of a contrast. So I liked that a whole lot better, and all I did was take regular white paper, add snowflakes to it. You could cut those out without a die cut machine. So again, I've enjoyed being here with you today. If you do not already subscribe to the Creative Retreat Kids YouTube channel, I encourage you to do so. Take some time to listen and watch all of the other ladies. They have beautiful work that they share in their hearts from what they learned from the devotional. I learn something from them every single month, and I really enjoy each one of them. Please click the thumbs up if you like the video, and if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And as always, I will list anything that I used in the notes below. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.